Good morning, Calgary and the world. I seem to be on the air, which I guess is a good thing since I'm talking to the microphone. Hi, everyone. I'm Steve Britton coming to you once again live, loud, and proud from the bowels of my residence, my office, my home, my place. And things might look a little bit different. I don't know if the light's the same or something, but things are a bit different this morning because I've got a whole bunch of holes in my ceiling. You see, we're moving a few wires around upstairs, and that means that I've got to take down this drop ceiling a little bit and move some network cable from one side of the room to the other and go up through a hole into the room above me and so on and so forth. I don't know how much of a difference that makes, but it could make a bit of a difference to the image. In any case, so today we've got a couple of things that I want to discuss, and it might help if I put on the actual photograph I wanted to have here, because there's an image I want to use a bit later on, but I've forgotten to put it on the my OBS software, of course. So I'm going to do that while I'm talking here. It's a new thing that I'm trying, and it'll be a little bit of fun while we're at it, while I'm messing around. But to do so, of course, you actually have to have the image in the program that you're using. So we're going to have to do that. And just bear with me a moment while I do this. And this part, when I re-upload this a bit later on, it'll be cut out, of course. And so on. But for now, well, that's kind of wrong. So, but we'll get this here. And there we go. Okay, and one more thing. Put my own. We won't do that. Okay, so sorry about that, everyone. Just realized I'd forgotten to do something, so thought I'd fix it while I remembered. In any event, I am Steve Britton. We're going to go over 3 news stories really quickly this morning. The first one, we're going to talk about that idiot that we've got in Ottawa named Justin Trudeau. He might be a nice guy. I've actually met him. He was at university when I met him. I was at university, and he judged a debate that I was involved with. I had no idea who he was at the time. I just saw the name Justin Trudeau on the judging form and thought nothing of it. It wasn't until later that I found out that he was actually Pierre Elliott Trudeau's son. And he was a nice enough guy. He chatted, we did his thing, we did our thing. End of story. And so that's that. But he's still a bit of a moron, I think. So let's do this. First story of the day it's this one here. Trudeau was in China just recently with the intent, as we were told, to negotiate a free trade deal with China. And Trudeau wanted to include all kinds of things, such as, where is it here? It's in here somewhere. He wanted to include environment. He wanted to include other issues as well. I've lost it. It was in here. I saw it earlier. Oh, yes, there it is. Sorry, everyone. We also were supposed to be somehow impressed, for instance, or at least surprised that Trudeau's purportedly principles' insistence on gender, labor, and environmental provisions in a free trade agreement with China was the cause of some hullabaloo in Beijing this week. Well, it's very simple. The president of China, the premier of China, or whatever his position is, said no. And they left with this meek agreement. Well, okay, maybe at some point next year we'll talk about talking and have some exploratory discussions on the possibility of talking and exploring the idea of some form of free trade in the future. In other words, pretty much nothing. And once again, Prime Minister Justin Trudeau proves that he's an absolute failure as Prime Minister. In fact, he is arguably the worst Prime Minister ever. He's worse than his dad. His dad had a brain. Justin Trudeau doesn't even have the luxury of that. So, there you go. That's my rant on the day. And look at this picture here. This is you've got Justin with this silly grin on his face. And look at the Premier of China, the President of China. He couldn't care less. It's got this sort of expression like, yeah, I'm shaking this guy's hand. I'm not looking at him, and I'm looking at the camera. Get me out of here. I've got things to do. I've got meetings to hold. I've got people to talk to. I've got a nation to run. And yes, China is horrendous when it comes to human rights. It's horrendous when it comes to pollution in the atmosphere. It's horrendous when it comes to all kinds of things, not the least of which being their communist system. But there's Justin Trudeau in absolute awe of being with this world leader. And the leader of China just doesn't give a rat's ass. And quite frankly, being Trudeau, I wouldn't give a rat's ass either. So that's China, and that's just the disaster that Canada's Prime Minister actually is. He doesn't know what he's doing. He is in over his head, like everybody said before the election. And I just cannot believe that Canadians in the East, mainly, voted for this guy. I'm just stunned and incredulous every time a news article comes out about him and about the latest blunder that he has done, that people voted for this guy. And it scares me to think that they might vote for him again. News article and item number 2. The Happy Meal. This one is a John Ivison article that's in the National Post. There's a new private members bill that the Liberal government, go figure, has adopted. And this was introduced by a Tory senator, and I don't know why a Tory senator would do this. Whatever happened to freedom of parenting? Whatever happened to me deciding what's best for my child? If my child wants a Happy Meal, don't you think my child should be able to have a Happy Meal? Well, the government has said, yay, this is a good idea, and they've introduced it in the House. It's reached second reading. This is a bill which will provide to ban advertising of food and drink aimed at children. And it's a bill to it's an aim to reduce childhood obesity in Canada. And the aim is noble, but it's not the government's place to decide if I get to look after my child with or not. It's up to my place to decide what's best for my child. And it's a complete destruction of free speech. It's a complete abdication of power, or abdication of values. It's the government once again stepping in and telling me and telling McDonald's or whatever fast food, you cannot market to children. That's how McDonald's built their business, by marketing to children. It would mean the end of Ronald McDonald in Canada. Now, my kid doesn't like clowns, but whatever, like Hamburglar is gone. Grimace, gone. They're just going to be gone. And it's just redonkulous. So, like, what next? They're going to ban milk and eggs and butter? There's a short story out. It's called Lipid Legging. You should go find it and see if you can look it up and read it. It is terrifying. Some amateurs made it into a YouTube movie, and the acting is bad. The acting is, well, cringeworthy. But the story is absolutely terrifying.
I've got the yawns this morning, and that's why I keep going to, because I'm trying not to yawn as I look at the camera. You know, I got to tell you, I'm not bored. I'm too annoyed to be bored here. But so we've got the government looking to ban fast food advertising to kids. We've got Trudeau making an absolute failure of himself in China, and we've got one more. And we're gonna switch to the States now. This is Trump. Trump has been Donald Trump, of course. This is the Washington Post. Now, the Washington Post is a newspaper that is it's got a huge circulation. It rivals the New York Times in sheer size. It's over 100 years old, as I said, and it's a well-regarded paper. It's a credible news source. It's not like we're talking about the National Enquirer here. But here's the article. Read this first paragraph. Now, this is an article written by Ashley Parker, John Wagner, and Ed O'Keefe. So these are three people. And don't forget that the editor of the Washington Post would have approved this. Read the first paragraph of this article. President Trump attacks Senator Kirsten Gillibrand in a sexually suggestive tweet Tuesday morning that implied Gillibrand would do just about anything for money, prompting a swift and immediate backlash. So he sent out this tweet, and you'd think that this was just this horrendously bad tweet that he must have sent out. Like, what did he say? This is the Washington Post reporting this. They've got some credibility, right? Okay, let's find the tweet. Lightweight Senator Kirsten Gillibrand, a total flunky for Chuck Schumer and someone who could come into my office begging, in quotes, for campaign contributions not so long ago and would do anything for them, is now in the ring fighting against Trump. Very disloyal to Bill and crooked U.S. youth. Oh, man. Trump's making sexually suggestive tweets. Oh, come on. I read that before even reading the rest of this article. I read that first paragraph. I read the tweet and I thought, oh my God. Is this really the level to which the U.S. media has fallen? They're now making shit up. Like, there is absolutely no way they're conveniently misconstruing the tweet, or they're conveniently interpreting the tweet in the worst possible way. And they do this again and again and again. Haven't they figured out that Trump sends this stuff out to bait them? He's playing them. Trump is the epitome of troll. He knows how to work the media. Hell, he's been doing this longer than most of the people who write these articles have been alive. He knows how to play the game. And he's playing it. He doesn't even play the game consciously. It is part of who he is. Back in the day, he was trying to raise funding for building, I think it was Trump Atlantic City, the Atlantic City Casino. He writes about it in his book, Art of the Deal. And there was all this equipment ready to go, ready to do stuff. And it was all sitting there idle because there was nothing going on. And he had some investors and they had the media come down and they were looking at the site. And he realized that there was all this stuff just sitting there doing nothing. So he sent out all the workers and said, get in the stuff and just do something. Dig holes, move dirt around, just look busy. So what do? They did it. And so there's all this stuff going out there. Digging holes, filling the same holes back in again. One guy shoveling a hole, the other guy shoveling dirt back into the hole that the other guy shoveled. So they're all just doing stuff, working around. And the news guys were asked him, what are they doing out there? And Trump's answer was, well, they're just preparing the soil for the job. He just wanted him to look busy. By the way, he got the financing, as we all know, because he built the casino. That's how this guy operates. And that's a hilarious story, because why would you dig a hole only to fill it in again 5 minutes later with the dirt that you just dug out? But this is what he's doing with the media now. And good on him for doing it. So, that brings me to the last thing of today. Today, I am going to award the Moron of the Moment Award. There. Moron of the Moment Award goes to Ashley Parker, John Wagner, and Ed O'Keefe for writing this article. Well done, guys. Well done. You have received today's Moron of the Moment Award. So there you go. That's it. I'm going to sign off at this point, and I will see you all, or I won't see you, but you'll probably see me if you watch this on Friday, where we get to do this all over again. I'm Steve Britton.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching this, and if you want to see more, make sure that you subscribe to the channel. You know how to do it. There's a little bell icon down below, there's a little subscribe button down below, and as well, you can find me in a number of different places on the internet. You can find me on Facebook with Steve Speaks Freely. You can find me on Twitter at SCBritton. And of course, there's two very important places that you can also find me. This is where, if you want to support the show and help me expand the audience and do all the stuff that us creators try to do with their shows, you can find me on minds.com, minds.com, at SCBritton, and you can wire me points, and you can wire me a few bucks if you choose to. You can try wiring me some ducks if you like, but I don't think they're going to get anywhere. And the other place that you could find me, and it's a brand new site, it's called makersupport.com. So you can check me out there as well, also at SCBritton. So remember that, SCBritton, BRITTON, and you can find me in all those different places. And above all else, please do subscribe. And also comment. I like to know what you think, so give me some comments while you're at it. Thanks.